What's up, blockchain? This is Nick from Truth Blitz. So I've decided I'm going to start a new video series called Going Mainstream. We're basically going to talk about in this series, because I've talked about this in a lot of my videos, going over articles, going over different things that just point to how rapidly cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology are going mainstream. We are moving from the innovator to the early adopter stage, as Cliff High would say. And it's happening at a rapid pace. Just in the last few months alone, the amount of people who are now getting into the crypto space, it has increased what seems like tenfold. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, going over a couple articles here. And I'm going to do this because, like I said, I've talked about this in a few videos. So we're going to do this series somewhat often because, like I said, it's happening so much now. It seems like every day I look and I find the new article that just shows how fast this is happening and how much we are going mainstream. I mean, if you turn on CNBC, it seems like Bitcoin is mentioned just about every day now. For those who didn't know, CNBC Africa has a show that is purely dedicated to cryptocurrencies. First of all, I didn't even know there was a CNBC Africa until recently. And I think they're filmed and they're out of South Africa. I want to say Johannesburg. But yeah, it's actually a pretty good show. So we're going to go over a couple articles and we're going to talk about it a little bit and we'll go from there. First, let's take a quick look at the market cap. We have entered a bit of a Bitcoin pullback. And my buddy Crypto Blood predicted this. He said that we were going to start pulling back, and I'm surprised it didn't happen faster because the alts really kind of shot up, and Bitcoin really didn't move too much. So now we're starting to see the alts drop back down and Bitcoin drop back down. And from his technical analysis, he seems to think that Bitcoin is going to continue to drop some to maybe around the 6,200 mark. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. There's talk that now SegWit 2X is back on, or maybe was never off to begin with. So again, we'll just have to wait and see. So let's get into this article real quick here. Threat of cryptocurrencies will lead to introduction of state-backed digital currencies, Citigroup CEO. And this is from Cointelegraph. Citigroup Chief Executive Officer Michael Corbett has projected that the threat posed by Bitcoin and other digital currencies in the existing global financial system will give rise to state-supported virtual currencies. He argued that governments around the world will not take the disruption caused by cryptocurrencies and the system sitting down. In an interview with Bloomberg at a summit held in New York in early November 2017, Corbett claimed that Bitcoin and other virtual currencies threaten the current financial system's capabilities around data, tax collection, money laundering, and know your customer protocol. He added that various governments will introduce their own digital currencies to counter Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Quote from him, "It's likely that we're going to see governments introduce not cryptocurrencies. I think cryptocurrency is a bad moniker for that, but a digital currency." Corbett also cited the potential of blockchain technology, the underlying technology behind Bitcoin and other digital currencies. He claimed that the technology has great promise and should not be taken lightly. Citigroup's own digital currency and blockchain technology initiatives. According to Corbett, their company is already developing its own digital currency called Citicoin. Virtual currency is intended to reduce or eliminate issues in cross-border foreign exchange transactions. The major financial company is also collaborating with stock exchange NASDAQ on the possible applications of blockchain for the trading of private shares. Partnership involves Citigroup's CitiConnect and NASDAQ's Link platforms. So guys like this are running scared right now. Again, if we weren't going mainstream, he wouldn't give a shit about cryptos. He wouldn't give a shit about Bitcoin. Just as they laughed about it not too long ago, now they're starting to see, you know, that I'm pretty sure the quote, well, about blockchain anyway, the technology has great promise and should not be taken lightly. Okay? Cryptos in general should not be taken lightly. And I don't mean all cryptos. When I say that, I don't mean all of the cryptos that we have. And I went over a bunch of them yesterday on CoinMarketCap, or the other day, just how many there are. But Bitcoin is obviously the mother of all cryptos. You know, that's what started it all. And in the last 9 years, the pace that it has gone from kind of an obscure thing to now people like my mother are asking questions about it and showing interest. That just shows you right there. What shows me, you know, how much that this is really kind of starting to go full bore into the mainstream. And it's just going to keep speeding up, I believe. It's just going to keep getting accelerating faster and faster. And we're going to start seeing more and more people who a couple years ago, even if you told them about Bitcoin and explained to them what it was, would have laughed at you or told you it was a scam or a bubble, etc., and wanted nothing to do with it. These people are now going to be trying to inquire how to get their own Bitcoin or get into the crypto space. So, you know, it's a good thing, but we're gonna have, you know, these big banks and governments wanting to counter it with their own. They don't want us in a decentralized currency. They want us in theirs. So it's going to be it's going to be something to watch. Let's put it that way. I'll get into this article quick. Another one from Cointelegraph. It's highly inaccurate to describe Bitcoin as a bubble. Here's why. Many public figures in the traditional financial sector, including JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon, have criticized Bitcoin, describing it as a bubble. However, because of its decentralized, mathematical, and transparent nature, it's highly inaccurate to call Bitcoin a bubble of any sort. Tesla, Amazon, and Bitcoin, quote, bubbles. Bitcoin is not a bubble, contrary to the dishonest and non-factual claims of bank executives. There was a bubble in Bitcoin in 2013 when the demand for Bitcoin rose to a point where the market could no longer support it and the Bitcoin price crashed from $1,300 to $200. But it is not accurate to call Bitcoin itself a bubble. The same way it's not accurate to describe Amazon or Tesla in a bubble. Even up until April of this year, analysts described Tesla's exponential increase in value a bubble, as analysts did with Amazon throughout the company's 20 years of existence. 6 months ago, Matthew DeBoard, the transportation editor at Business Insider, wrote, "At this point, a Tesla bubble looks obvious, and it looks as obvious as it has since early this year. The difference now is that it's grown so large that it's become terrifying." Another expert, Greenlight Capital's David Einhorn, stated that Tesla is a bubble that will not pop anytime soon, but it is a bubble. In due time, we expect these bubbles to pop, said Einhorn. It's important to acknowledge this trend in any emerging company, technology, and startup. Analysts and experts are quick to claim that anything is a bubble given its rapid increase in value and exponential growth rate. 2013 to 2017, the share price of Tesla has increased from around $20 to $302, with many minor and major corrections. In December, the price of Tesla shares dropped by over $100 from $250 to $150 due to the company's struggling finances. Still, over time, Tesla recovered and it developed a sustainable business, a market, and most importantly, a customer base identical to how Bitcoin has evolved into a sustainable financial network, a robust market, and secured an active customer base of tens of millions of users. Furthermore, it's far-fetched to claim that the Bitcoin market, which has a similar liquidity and trading volume of Apple, the world's most liquid stock at 3.3 billion daily trading volume, because it has significantly matured since its introduction in 2009. Bitcoin is more legitimate than most systems. As Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak observed, Bitcoin is more legitimate and transparent than most systems in existence today. Wozniak noted at the Money 2020 conference, there is a certain finite amount of Bitcoin that can ever exist. Gold gets mined and mined and mined. Maybe there's a finite amount of gold in the world, but Bitcoin is even more mathematical and regulated, and nobody can change mathematics. So, I mean, that's to counter, all the assholes and the non-believers that say that Bitcoin is in a bubble. And they're going to say Bitcoin is in a bubble. I think at this point, deep inside, they know it's not a bubble, and they know that Bitcoin is not going anywhere. Quite the opposite. However, they've been saying this so long, and their subscribers and their followers have been listening to them for so long, that if they come out and say, guys, I was wrong, Bitcoin's the real deal, go buy some, they're going to lose their customer base. They're going to lose their subscribers, because they've been calling Bitcoin a bubble since it was $50, $100, right? So now, we're 68 and change right at the moment, but we were almost $8,000 just yesterday or the day before. So would you be pissed if the person you've been listening to this whole time was telling you, don't buy Bitcoin, it's a scam, it's a bubble, when you could have got in at 50, 75 bucks, and now at, for example, we'll just throw out a number, $7,500, $7,600, they say, hey, I was wrong, go get some. I'd be pissed, because I'm listening to you this whole time. Not just me, thousands of people are listening to you this whole time say how this is a bubble, and now you say, hey, I was wrong, go buy some. But now it's I can get a little bit. I won't be able to get not nearly as much as I would have been able to when it was 50, 75 bucks. So, Bitcoin's not going anywhere. That's my whole point in this. It is not in a bubble. And, this explains why it's not in a bubble. Sure, we see pullbacks. We see corrections. That's going to happen in most markets. But not only does it, and some of these pullbacks are quite large, right? But not only does it recover and go back to where it was, Bitcoin surpasses that number, surpasses that last high. And, since I've been in the space, I've seen that numerous times. I remember being brand new, and the first big pullback scared the shit out of me. But after you've seen it a number of times, you just know it's nothing to worry about, because in a relatively short time, it's going to recover and surpass that high. So, bubble my ass. That's all I got to say. There's no bubble. If this was a bubble, right, they wouldn't be getting ready to trade Bitcoin futures. And that's just the way it is. So anyway, guys, like I said, I'm going to do this series whenever I see fit, but it's going to happen, because I've talked about this a lot. I just talked about it the other day. Every time I see an article that points to how the crypto space and blockchain technology and Bitcoin is going mainstream, I make a video. So we're going to turn that into a series called Going Mainstream. Anyway, guys, follow me on Twitter at TruthBlitzMedia. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.